Sure. This meeting, the Historic District Commission will take place in a webinar format through Zoom. Chair of the commission is Sarah Moriarty. The host of the webinar is the building officials. Staff attending this meeting include Peters of English and Linda Galetta. Anyone speaking should state their names prior to speaking each time. The panelists in the webinar meeting will be the commission members and the building staff. Panelists who would like to comment on an item should indicate such by using the icon to raise hand at the bottom of the screen. After a panelist raises their hand, they will be able to comment one at a time when called upon by the chairperson. Panelists should mute their microphones until called upon. Panelists calling into the meeting by telephone may raise or lower their hand by pressing *9. And to mute or unmute, they got to press *6. To make a motion or second a motion, commission members can raise a hand and be acknowledged by the host or chair. To vote on a motion, commission members will be called upon individually by the chair to vote. Public can participate in the meeting during the public communications agenda item. The public will be asked to raise their hand during public communications if they want to speak at this time by using the raise icon hand at the bottom of the screen. And the public will be called upon by the host one at a time and will be able to speak during this time. Attendees must identify themselves before speaking.
All right, thank you. So I will call the meeting to order on February 2nd at 7:05, and I will promote Bill Ferguson to a voting member this evening. And Don, do you want to read the call?
Sure. Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice for one insertion on Monday, January 25, 2021. Town of Groton, notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021 at 7 p.m. virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HDC 21-02, 8 Ashby Street, Ryan and Cheryl Harmon, owners, Peter Springsteel, applicant, additions and renovations, PIN number 2618063900587, HDC 21-03, 34 New London Road, Catherine and Trad Dart, owners, applicant, addition and renovations, PIN number 2619171077462. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meetings calendar or can be attended by visiting www.zoom.us. Webinar ID 873-5674-6009, password 429828, or by phone 1-312-626-6799. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 25th day of January 2021 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary.
Thank you. So I will call the first public hearing, HDC 21-02, 8 Ashby Street, Ryan and Cheryl Harmon, owners, Peter Springsteel, applicant. I think I saw Peter.
Yes, I am here. So Peter Springsteel, architect, representing Cheryl and Ryan Harmon of 8 Ashby Street. I was before you, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago on this project. And after that, we went for the variance. We had to get variances, so we went for variances on the property. Those were approved a week or two ago. So I'm back here as a formal approval with you guys for this project. And we're looking to add on to the rear and side of 8 Ashby Street. And maybe if we scroll down a little bit here, we can show you the site location. So the site outlined in red there, it's a very tiny parcel. The house sits non-conforming up in the corner there. And it's on a steep hillside as well. So it drops off in the back. As you're standing on Ashby, it drops down to the rear. And this is full of a neighborhood of other pretty historic homes, all pretty good shape. This house existing is in pretty rough shape. This, let's see, is the existing floor plans of the house. Sorry, this is not existing. These are proposed. Can you scroll up? No. Maybe scroll down. Let's find the existing. Okay, so what I've got here on the left is the existing first floor. You can see it's just a small rectangle with 2 or 3 rooms in it with a deck off the back. And then on the right is the proposed first floor. You can see on the right-hand side, we're proposing an addition that will house an updated kitchen. And then towards the bottom of that, you can see there's a deck and a porch and a stairway that's taking us down to the lower level because the grade drops off. And then on the next image here, left side is the existing second floor. There's 2 bedrooms and a bath up there. And we're going to 3 bedrooms. The addition on the right side there will house a master bedroom and a master bath. And then you can see the porch roof below there. So this is the existing basement plan and the proposed basement plan. On the left, there is a bit of a finished basement. Walks out on the back side on the right, but it's built into the grade on the left. So on the right-hand drawing there, you can see our proposed addition that we're going to finish off and make living space. And you can see the stairway coming under the proposed deck as well. And here we have on the left, the existing front elevation from Ashby Street. So it's a very diminutive house on the front, just a story and a half with an existing shed dormer on the right side. On the right-hand drawing here, the front is changing in that we're adding a dormer to match the shed dormer on the right. We're adding it on the left. And then we've got a porch addition on the right side of the house. Scroll up a little bit. This is the existing right side of the house and the proposed right side. So again, you can see a very small but tall house when you look at it from the back, or this is the side, but you can see all 3 stories now. On the proposed drawing on the right, you can see the porch that we're adding on, sort of in the middle there. And then the addition on the right side with the deck. And what we've tried to do here is change up the materials a little bit as we go up on the building to break up the mass of the rear structure there. Peter, I think if you scroll back to the front elevation for a moment. Yeah, we've taken the scallop shingles that they have on the front of the house, and we're trying to repeat that as we go to the rear of the house. So you can scroll back down to the next sheet. So on the left, you have the existing rear elevation of the house. And on the right, you have the proposed. And here's where we're adding those scallop shingles up in the upper story there to try to scale down the mass. Not that you really see this mass in its full exposure from, let's see, Noank Road. When you look up at this house, part of it, the bottom is cut off there by the retaining wall that sits in front of it. And so you don't really see the bottom level of this house in a big way from down below. And then the drawings on the lower part of the sheet on the left is the existing left side. So if you were standing in Ashby Street, looking back at the house from the north, you would see that elevation with the 1 window in it. So we're adding on the right side here, the shed dormer up at the top and the structure to the left, which is in the back of the house. And we provided an offset there to break up the mass. So here we have some 3D drawings of the house. The top one there is from the rear. Next one down is also from sort of the rear right side view. You can see the deck and the stairs. And then that bottom image is from Ashby Street as you're approaching the house. So from Ashby, the house looks pretty much the same as it does today, with the exception of the porch. Over on the left, we have the site plan. The darkened area is the two-story addition. This house sits right on the property line on Ashby Street. And there's a red box there that is the buildable area, and that's why we needed variances, because we're well outside of that. We're also doing this raised parking area on the lower part of the site plan there with a bit of a retaining wall. Right now that slopes off, and it's there's no place to park on this property, so there's only street parking. It's a very narrow street. So we're going to do a raised area there with probably pavers to create a parking area on site. And materials that we're using on this house, yeah, you can scroll down. These are some of the photos of the existing house. We took the deck off the back because it was dangerous. The interior of the house needs to be totally regutted. And we'll also be doing new windows, new siding. We're going to be using fiber cement for the siding, painted AZAC for all the trim work, and we're going to mimic all the trim work that's there and all the siding that's there, including the scallop shingles. We're going to do new simulated divided light, double hung windows that'll be clad on the outside, and asphalt roof shingles. The deck railing will be a composite, like an Intex product, which has a sort of a dull white finish to it. So it looks like a painted wood railing system. And I guess, is there any more there, Peter? Is that the last photo?
I think he went through all the photos.
Okay.
Peter,
Peter.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Don.
Is there a list of materials in?
I believe on the drawings, if we scroll back up to the drawings, there should be a list there somewhere. Maybe on the elevation sheets. I have to scroll out there.
Yeah, there. Okay.
Yeah, I think that summarizes all the materials that I spoke of. And the EPA decking we're doing, wood decking.
Peter, can you minimize it so we can see, and then can you scroll down a little bit, please? Stop there. So Peter Springsteel, when we look at this the east elevation, where can we see that from? Can we see that from Noank Road?
You can see that from Noank Road, yes.
Okay. So my only question is, how did the roof line looks a little squat. Is there, I'm just looking at how you came to that. Was there?
Well, last time I was in, we presented it that way, but we didn't have any of the detailing of the little brackets up there and the shingling. And the comments that came back is that I should look at doing something to break up the mass and add some detail up in there. Maybe something to echo what was on the front. Didn't really have much comment on the pitch of the roof from that meeting, but I'm hearing you.
I mean, I wouldn't oppose it. I just, when you look at the other pitches, it just looks a little squat, and I didn't know if there was a reason, or again, it's a much improved structure, and I don't even know if you could make the pitch a little bit higher without disrupting your design. But
well, yeah, we're trying to get a decent master bedroom up there, and that's where it sits. If I were to steepen that roof, there really wouldn't be a room there.
okay.
you could maybe do a false break on it, but you'd cut off the two windows on the sides of that one center window.
Okay.
So that's how I got there.
And then, Peter, can you scroll down a little bit more? There. Losing. Can you scroll to the actual picture, the very next one? There. Okay. So if I'm looking at this picture, you're adding the dormer on the other side and you're changing the roof pitch, right?
We're adding a dormer on the other side. We're not changing the roof pitch of the main house, no. That's staying
Oh, this
there.
is the addition that I'm looking at. So it comes out further. Okay.
Right.
But is it as tall as it is, as the dormer on this side? The building's
Yeah.
not going to go taller, I guess is what I'm asking. And I only ask
No.
that because here it doesn't look very tall. But then when you look at your proposed pictures, it looks very tall.
Yeah, sometimes when you do the 3D on the computer, it exaggerates things a little bit, and it might have been a closer in view. If we scroll up a little, Peter, that middle
Yeah.
rendering there,
Yeah.
is taken. It's shot close into the building, so it does appear tall.
Okay.
And that's the view you'd see from the corner of the property. You wouldn't see that from the public way in that perspective.
Okay. All right.
If I'm standing on that deck with, and you're looking at my back, I'm facing East Ashby Street, correct?
So if you're standing on the deck looking away from the building, is that what you're asking?
Away from, I guess, to the left.
So I'll say it like this. We're looking at the south facade of the building in that center rendering.
Okay. The south being where the deck is?
Yes.
Okay, then, all right. Yeah, then we're saying the same thing. Thank you.
Okay.
Does any commission member have any other questions or comments for the applicant?
Not for me, no, thank you.
Bill?
Is the house size doubling? Just
No, if you look at the site plan there, you can see on the left is the footprint of the existing house in white, and then the dark footprint is the proposed addition. So it's maybe 2/3 of the footprint there.
Okay.
The footprint of this house is remarkably small. I think it's 435, 400 and some odd square feet, the existing house. And we're adding another 200 or 300.
no questions.
Questions? Don, Bill? you
No,
good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Would
Pete.
Thank
would
you.
anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? All right, HDC 21-02 is closed. I will open HDC 21-03, 34 New London Road, Catherine and Trad Dart. I think I saw them in the audience earlier.
Yeah, hi, we're here.
Oh, there you are. All right. You can introduce your application.
Yep, hi.
Hi.
This is Carol. We're here with our contractor, Ted Nelson. So we want to add on to our house and renovate some of the existing part of the house. So if you can scroll down. And actually, I don't know, Pete, are you running can I mute and Ted unmute? And Ted, our contractor, can talk about the design?
Sure.
Okay. Muted us.
There we go. Hello. You might want to turn your volume down.
Yeah.
There you go. Otherwise, we're gonna have the Hey,
Hang on.
your volume.
I can't expand it.
You can raise and lower your volume. Just lower it.
I'm stuck on the screen. I got it. Okay.
How about that?
That works out.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's really great when it
We
works.
ended the echo chamber. That's why I asked the folks if it would be okay if I came over to the house, because I'm not a big fan of Zoom, but I understand it's a necessary evil. Yeah, so we looked at this about a year ago. Folks want to put an addition at the same level at the back of the house. As you can see, they've got a substantial sized property, so there's plenty of room back there. And there's the lot. Yeah, so you can see how far it goes back. That's the front of the house right now. The house is completely covered. The siding is vinyl siding and vinyl replacement windows in the current house. And so we're proposing matching the vinyl siding and go with new construction vinyl windows on the addition, which is a single story addition in the back. And it has, when you get to the design, you'll see. Those are the fronts. These are the photos in the front. Yep. Street. We're not doing anything on the front. It's all in the back. So. Are the drawings there? I'm sure they're there somewhere. Oh, yeah. Those are all our materials. The list of materials. Yep. You wanted pictures, we provided them.
Was there a picture of the actual edition somewhere?
I don't see the scale drawings. I just saw the site plan, but I didn't see the drawings.
At the bottom.
I don't know. I can't control this. They're working that.
Did you have them from last time?
Going down, going down, going
Seems
down.
to be all it's there.
Really gotta. I don't know, because he's already run down the almost the bottom, and I don't see them.
Keep going down.
I don't think I can control this. No, I can't. They're in control of that.
The drawings at the bottom.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the.
Okay, please scroll.
Yeah. The rest of the meeting.
No, he's at the bottom. He's been to the bottom, and there's no drawings.
There's a second page.
They were sent to Linda. Can you ask Pete if he needs me to send them to him right now?
Do you want us to resend the drawings to you? Because I don't see them in your portfolio here.
Problem we have is if they weren't submitted, they're not part of the public record.
So I just want to break in for a sec. I'm just going back into what we have compiled for 34 New London Road. And I really don't see plans. I see the materials. I see the application. I'm not seeing
Find my volume.
actually elevation plans, if you will. So do you know when those were sent?
I turned my volume down for you, and then I could hear them fine, and now I can't.
So should I? I'm going to turn on it. Hi, Pete, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I had sent the drawings to Linda. Do you not have them?
I'm not seeing them.
Okay, do you need me to resend them to you, Pete?
The problem is it's got to be part of the public record. So we probably have to continue this to the next meeting.
Okay.
When's our next, we're in the first meeting, so our next meeting is in 2 weeks.
Be the 14th
Yep, so what we can do
or no, 16th.
is just send the drawings to Linda and we'll just continue to you tonight. And then we'll hear you probably first, I believe,
Okay, they,
at the next meeting.
they were sent to Linda. Do you need, so it was sent to her with everything, the photos, the,
The drawings you sent before the photos. That was the follow-up list that Tom asked for.
I'm not sure. I agree with you. Sometimes these systems are a little imperfect. And we can do some things on the fly, but the public needs to have notice of the project that you're developing. And because we weren't able to put it on the website for other people to see, we have a notice issue.
okay, understood. I'll just resend them to Linda if that's what we have to do, and then meet hopefully in 2 weeks.
Please, yes.
Okay,
All right.
Or what I would suggest too is check a few days before the next hearing with Linda and make sure she got them.
I
So
did check with her that she had everything and I wouldn't have to display anything, and she said she did.
So I just want to let you folks know that we do have a planner, Tom Zanarini. I think you've been working with him a bit,
We
Kathy.
have,
Yes.
Yeah, and so he's really the lead planner, and I have everything posted that he provided to me. And I'm looking in that folder and I am not seeing the drawings.
okay, Linda,
So
then I must have sent them to Tom and you didn't get them.
maybe so. So
Okay.
I would definitely reach out to Tom and follow up with him.
Okay,
Okay?
Sorry about that.
no worries. All right, so I'll just follow up on that, and I guess then we're done. And will we automatically be put on the meeting in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so I guess we'll sign off.
Well, Sarah, do we need a motion to continue it or?
I was just gonna say, I move to continue, I've lost my number. HDC 21-03.
I second.
All right, all in favor, Moriarty, aye, Levinson,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
the application is continued. Okay,
Great, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right, bye.
Oh,
All right.
no.
I'm going to close public hearings and I'm going to open a consideration on HDC 21-02 8 Ashby Street, Ryan and Cheryl Harmon, owner, Peter Springsdale applicant. This was the project where Peter was showing us the addition to the structure. Any comments or motions?
I make a motion to approve.
I second. Do a roll call. Moriarty, aye. Levinson,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
the application is approved. All right, we've continued HDC 21-03. So we have pre-application hearings. Is there anyone in the audience for pre-application hearings? I see two people. I don't know.
Yes, Jeff Kerr.
All right, go ahead. You have the floor.
Awesome, thank you. I've got like a PowerPoint. What's the easiest thing to do? Is it just email it to Linda or?
You should be able to, you could share documents if you want right now.
Okay, let's see here. What is it, just share screen?
Correct.
Or, it's saying you cannot start screen share while the other, oh, okay, got it. Okay, are you guys able to see the PowerPoint okay?
Not so far.
Where?
Okay,
There we
Yeah,
go.
it is. Yeah.
okay, I got it. It's just in the, right there, you got it?
Yeah, there.
Okay. So you see me go between two slides here?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm at 6 Ashby Street, right next door to, Jeff Kerr, property owner, next door to Ryan and Cheryl at 8 Ashby. And my wife Stephanie and I are interested in putting in a driveway on our property to create a little bit of off-street parking, just because we have such a narrow street, and especially spring, summer, fall time frame can get a little crowded. So hopefully just free up some space in the street going forward into the hopefully a much more robust tourist season this year, as things kind of start loosening up a little bit. So here's my hand drawing. I guess big thing I wanted to figure out today or tonight was what you guys need from me for additional information. So just a really quick overview of the plot. There's 8 Ashby that Peter had gone through. This is 6 Ashby right here on the plot. This is there's a retaining wall between 6 and 8, and then there's a retaining wall in the front yard. And this property just slopes down as you go further into the backyard towards New London Road there, or Road rather. So just from the street view, what we're proposing is basically putting in a concrete wall, like a retaining wall around a raised driveway to make it close to level to the street, or maybe slightly sloping down towards the backyard, with some guardrails using like a cable system around the edges, and then fill the inside with just fill it, and then at the top planning on putting some seashells, which will match some other driveways that are on the in the neighborhood. Here's a quick picture of the property itself. So here's a retaining wall that I was talking about. This is basically where we're looking to put the driveway in at. And as I mentioned before, it would just go maybe slightly sloping downward, kind of in this side section of the house. A couple more views kind of from the front of the house. It would kind of slope down parallel with the dirt as you see it now, and remain raised with some guardrails around it. And the plan would be to, as you see here, basically have kind of room for kind of a smaller car here, and then like a larger car here, so that we're not touching this sidewalk area to the max extent possible. So it gives us still easy access to the backyard. Around the concrete wall, we'd like to face it with basically a granite facing. So the goal there being that the retaining wall that we install would at least somewhat match the current granite stone that we've got going along the retaining wall as it is at the moment. And for the design for the railing, this is what my wife and I had in mind. But this, once again, this is kind of just an example of what we're thinking. So I guess big question from us would be, what information would the Historic Commission need at this point? Sorry, let me turn on my video here. There we go. What information would the Historic Commission need from us for an application, like a formal application hearing in 2 weeks, so that we can move forward?
So if you reach out to Tom Zanarini, there should be a list of things that he would tell you that you need to provide. Looking at this project, I would really like to see some type of as-built, if you will. I certainly empathize with your need for parking. There just isn't any, but I'm really having a hard time trying to visualize how you're going to build this up. It's almost like, and when you go back to, I'm looking at the photos on the side. The
Next one down.
yeah. So I'm really trying to envision how you're going to do this. So it would be helpful to see that you may even want to come back for another preliminary on this one with a little bit more detail of how it's going to look.
Okay. Yeah, I think the plan was to basically excavate here, concrete wall around to build out the structure itself, and then fill it with dirt, rocks, and then put seashells up top, and then face it with basically a material similar to this veneer here.
Mhm.
So I guess what are you asking for then? Are you asking for, like when you say as built, like considering?
So what it's, the proposed depiction of it, like if you, I'm not sure if you were in the audience when Peter was presenting his application for 8, but he had drawings that showed what it would look like when it was complete.
Okay.
Yeah, the concern is like, it's a pretty steep slope here.
Right.
And, how are you going to fill it in? Like what it's going to look like once it's all filled in and built out.
Okay.
So
And-
basically, yeah, go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, and to even go one step further, the guidelines are that the proposed construction needs to fit in with, the fabric of the community. And I'm racking my brain to try to figure out where this guardrail system you have, other than, for the roads that the town uses, where else it would be in the district. And if you can come up with another property that has that, that would be very helpful. Yes,
Okay.
that's,
What's your thinking with the guardrails? You're just concerned that the cars are you're going to drive off the driveway, or what's your
Yeah, I
thinking?
mean, there's going to be some elevation involved here, because like I think this is only about 2 feet high, but coming like as we're getting further into the property, it's going to be, it might be past the 3 foot that you need for code to have a railing with like an elevated, any kind of like elevated kind of area, after talking to or exchanging emails with Peter Z earlier today. And plus, I mean, to your point, like we're probably going to be sloping down somewhat. So, hate to have, pulling my car in the wintertime when there's some ice, and then, not have anything at all to stop it from going. Cause there's really, like, once it's in the backyard, it's going to be tough to get out. You know what I mean? Just cause this is kind of sloping down pretty aggressively.
I would recommend getting some proposed drawings and probably coming back for another preliminary.
Okay.
Any other commission members have any, advice or offerings to the app,
Yeah, I'm just like Sarah said, if you talk to staff, they'll run you through, what we look for, what they'll look for, put it on the agenda.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been emailing Tom, and I'll send a couple more emails.
all right, thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks.
Who else do we have here?
Peter Springfield is raising his hand.
Peter. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Go ahead, Peter.
let's see. This is a picture of the house at 1 Pearl Street. And I think it's basically being used as a 2 or 3 family at the moment. But it's, I've been getting a lot of inquiries from developers who want to do something with this, and I'll show you a site plan. So this property is in the MDD district, so it's been blessed with the the ability to develop it in a pretty intense way because of that MDD design district. I mean, this is the same zoning as most of the buildings downtown, including the Standard, which is under construction now. This house up front obviously has some historic value. But the property has this big rear yard, and right now it's a big parking lot back here that used to be accessible from the bank parking lot over here, but no longer is. So it's only access is from Pearl Street right here. So I've had a couple of parties come to me and, they're sort of asking me what can be done with this property. And I guess one of the more radical things to do with it is to take the house down in front in order to improve the access. So I'm kind of coming here to feel out the commission on that kind of a deal, whether or not that would be a deal breaker here or not. And, in the past, it's always been, well, let's see what you're going to propose in its place, which ultimately would happen. But if it's a non-starter, then it gives me some constraints as to where I can go from there. So the uses for this have been from boutique hotel to multifamily. We probably do a building in the back. Ideally, we could leave this building here and create access in and out either side, but it doesn't leave much property for much else. Or maybe there's a way to alter it a little bit to improve the access. So just looking for general thoughts about this property and what you think about its viability as keeping it or getting rid of it or altering it.
Does the building have any historical value?
Well, it's clearly an older building. Here, I'll bring the photo back in here.
Thank you.
I'm not sure of the year here, but this is probably a pre-Civil War, looks like to me.
You said pre-Civil War.
That's what it looks like to me on the outside. I don't have the property card in front of me, but
Pulling up the property card now.
Peter, the building's occupied now and there's no questions about the, stability of the property or no issues about that or anything, right?
the structural integrity of the building, I haven't checked that out at all. It is being used for sure as a rental. There's at least 2 rental units in there, if not 3.
Okay.
And that
Go ahead.
that big long parking space, is that in front of that picket fence or the
Yes,
stockade fence? Sorry.
Yeah, that stockade fence is, I don't know, 150 feet back.
Oh,
So yeah, the parking is right in there. There's a stone right there. All the parking is between that stone and the
okay.
fence, and it's a pretty big area. It's significant.
And there's one driveway there now on the right, or the drawing shows 2 driveways?
Yeah, you can see right here, this gray, the darker gray here, that's the existing driveway comes in along here. And this thing here overhangs, so you kind of feel like I wouldn't want to bring a truck in there because you probably hit the overhang right there.
But then it shows a
So
driveway.
even possibly, the red
shows
is my proposed idea about.
Oh, okay, that's not an existing driveway. No.
Right, there's just one driveway that comes in here, and it's actually blocked off from the parking area because this was linked up over here. And the people who live here just park in the back here.
So it was built in 1826.
Yeah, so that's definitely pre-Civil War. It's an old building.
So, you know, in the past, to tear down a building, it's usually been a compelling reason, such as disrepair, condemned, safety hazard. And even
Yeah.
then it's been, what are you gonna put there when you're done? So I guess, I mean, I'm not closed-minded, but it would have to be a
Yeah.
pretty compelling reason or something pretty awesome going there.
Yeah, okay. And I suppose, I mean, this piece here is a porch right here. And if that were removed, I would have a bigger area here. And this looks like a later add-on right here. So if I remove that and the porch, I might have a pretty decent in and out access at that point. So that might be a nice compromise.
I would agree with you there.
I would agree with that as well.
And I could always, because the building was probably very simple when it was built. I don't even know if this front porch that's on here now, it looks a little more Victorian.
Mhm.
Can't see it. Let me do it again.
That little overhang of what appears to be the front.
This here is that bump out you saw on the one side. This is more of a Victorian porch here. And I suppose I could minimize it. And I don't have a picture of the other thing on the other side, but ultimately I would get you that so you can see it, but that's probably a newer addition that would help us to get access on this right side here.
Mhm. I think that
So
was
what I'm
achievable.
what I'm gathering from you guys is you prefer that we don't take this down.
I guess it would just have to be, like I said, a compelling reason, or you're proposing something going there so amazing that we couldn't say no. But
Yeah.
to tear down
Okay.
a building that's not in terrible shape, built from 1826, would kind of be a hard sell.
And I'm not the
No,
structural guy, but there's no way to move this, right? The house.
well, that's a good point. I mean, we could move it. We'd probably need a variance to move it. I think this front corner is over the property line, actually, the street, the town property line. But yeah, that's an idea too, is we could move this to the right or to the left so that we had a two-way in and out. So that's a possibility. And like, so you're saying you'd entertain that as well, I suppose,
Yeah, I would.
if it helped us out.
I would.
I would.
Okay.
Is there a way to move it back, or that wouldn't work?
Yeah. Yeah. Once you lift it up, you can go right, left, or back. It costs a little more to move it, but at that point, we could probably improve the foundation of it too, if it's in tough shape. But probably back in the day, this was probably a little commercial space under here. See, there's a stair that goes down into that.
Yeah.
Somebody probably, fix shoes or stuff like that under there.
Exactly.
So we would, that could get impacted by an entrance here, but maybe not, because it's angled away from it. So we would probably deal with that somehow. The new building, we would do a new building in the back, so that would, obviously come to you as well. And we probably try to pick up some of the simplistic detailing of this, so it doesn't overpower it. And in this MDD district, you can go a bit taller as well. But I think the impact of it being further back wouldn't detract from this, in my view. So just wanted to get that out there and get your temperature on it. So I think I hear you.
All right. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Is anyone else in our audience? Mr. Keatsman, are you here for a preliminary?
No, I am not. I'm here just to listen in. I'm considering, maybe it's presumptuous to say, but I'm considering being a commission member in the future sometime. I don't know
All
if
right.
you need any. You used to need some. So I thought I would just listen in on a few sessions to see if it's something that would actually be more interesting to me, or how to actually become a
Gotcha.
panel member.
Well, happy you listened in, and I do believe we still need commission members. So appreciate you entertaining it.
Okay.
All
Any
right.
questions for us?
No, if you don't mind me listening in on the ones you have on the rest of this year. I've got an outstanding conflict with the church meeting for half your meeting. So this is kind of a longer term thing for me to investigate. So.
All right. Well, join us as often as you'd like.
All right. Thanks, Sarah.
All right. So we are now on to public communications. Peter, Linda?
I
I
got
don't have
nothing.
anything.
Nope. All right. Approval of the minutes from January 19th, 2021.
Move to,
Go ahead, Don.
move to approve?
I second.
All right. I'll do a roll call. Moriarty, aye. Levinson,
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Old business. I don't believe we have any. New business, we were going to table the election of officers, especially tonight, since we don't have other two commission members, and we do believe that another one might be joining us shortly. So I assume we're all still in agreement on that.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Okay. And any new business? Peter, Linda?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Then unless anyone has anything else, I will move to adjourn.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Have a good night.
All right.
Bye.